Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today I'm going to be reviewing episode 1 of the Dalek Invasion of Earth. And part 1 is called World's End. Now, I've never seen the Dalek Invasion of Earth before. I'm really excited about it. It's one of those Doctor Who stories that I feel like every Doctor Who fan needs to see. And it's one I've always wanted to see. It is a Dalek story. It's a famous one. It's one that got adapted into a movie with Peter Cushing, which I've also never seen, but I hear is better. So I was really pumped and excited for it. It was actually sent to me by one of my subscribers, Adrian. He sent it to me so I could watch it. I really appreciate that. I enjoyed episode 1 a lot. If I can get the slide back in there. There we go. I really enjoyed episode 1. It's much more atmospheric than I thought it was going to be, and there's this sense of foreboding and dread and tension of just waiting for the other shoe to drop. It does a lot of setting up and creating atmosphere, which I was not expecting. I expected more like a Star Wars Resistance action-y thing than I was what veers, just at least in part 1, more into suspense, thriller. Horror is too strong of a word, but horror vibes with the tension and the thriller and the suspense in it. I really like a lot of the incidental music in part 1. It really plays into that really well. I did notice when the TARDIS first materializes, a couple of the windows look off like they're folded in, and I don't know why that bugged me as much as it did, but it really bugged me. The TARDIS, I'm like, come on, y'all, just push the TARDIS windows back out. But I like how the Doctor catches on quick to everything looks kind of dilapidated around him, with the trees overgrown, the bridge not being in good shape, which we really find out about shortly after. I like that, him catching that he didn't think they were in the 1960s. Everything looks too run down. Also noticing that they haven't seen anything, but more importantly, haven't heard anything. No birds, no animals, no ships, no noises, nothing. And I am fascinated by buildings and towns that have gone to ruin and are dilapidated with no people. Something about a decayed city with nobody in it fascinates me. I don't know why. Like, I found a game I really liked called Submerged, and it's basically like in a future time when you're in like this massive city, but the whole world's been flooded, so it's just tall skyscrapers and water. And basically you sail around in a boat and scale different parts of the city, and it's a fun little game. It's kind of a walking simulator or boating simulator type game. It's really fun. It's very relaxing. They just came out with a second one I haven't had a chance to get yet, but I really want it. But I absolutely loved that game. So I'm fascinated by things like that. There's just something eerie and creepy and atmospheric about a city with no people in it. Especially like a city that was once great but has gone to ruin. That fascinates me. I love it. So immediately I clicked with that. And then, of course, then there's the part where Susan tries to get up and have a look around, and then she falls and hurts her ankle. And I almost wish I'd been filming my reaction to the episode, because I'm sitting there going, of course she did. Of course she did. Susan is being Susan. Every time Barbara, does something and I'm like, that's a poster for why Doctor Who, was 21st century, even back in the 60s. It had strong female characters. Every time I think that, I have Susan doing something, tropey, like screaming and panicking and, oh, I hurt myself, oh, and, which backs it all up, Every time Barbara, shoots women's rights 2 steps forward, Susan takes it 2 steps back. Susan really irks me. And I know that's one of the reasons why Carol wanted to leave the role. She wasn't getting any character development. I perfectly agree with that. So then she hurts her ankles, and I'm just sitting here like, that's Susan. Of course she does. But in this case, it does give them good reason for why they have to split up. So that does kind of work for the plot of why they have to split up and why Barbara's there kind of tending to her while Ian and the Doctor run to the warehouse, which is, of course, pivotal to the plot because they have to get separated for the story to continue. So I'm a little forgiving of that. I like the dilapidated warehouse. It looks like there's some nice imagery used there, showing the abandoned buildings from the outside. them running around inside. Some really good set design there where the building's kind of dilapidated and then finding the dead guy with a knife in him. That was really well done. I like the one shot the first time we see someone else not from our main team, when you see Ian and the doctor walk by and then the camera zooms in to that one guy's face who's kind of watching them. That was a really nice shot. I really liked that. And then seeing, hearing the gunshots and seeing Barbara like, hey, what's going on? Where's Susan? Somebody else has her. You need to come with us right now. And watching Barbara have to keep up and not really having time to ask questions, but knowing she needs to go. I like learning about the resistance or the refugees. I'm not quite sure what this is. I get that they're kind of a resistance movement, not just refugees, since they are armed and willing to kill to protect themselves. I like that, seeing kind of them getting set up for there. Seeing Barbara and Susan kind of getting set up with them. And of course, Ian and the doctor going back and finding the women gone. And of course, Ian being frustrated with the, what am I supposed to do with them? Of course they ran off. They can't just sit in one spot. How hard is it to sit in one spot? I get that kind of frustration. That stay right here and don't move. I think we've all been there, be it with significant others or if you've had children, that stay right here and you come back 2 minutes later and they're not there and you're like, I get that. I really like the doctor in this one. He's a lot kinder to Ian and Barbara than I saw him early in his run. I like when he even compliments Ian. He's like, intelligent boy or intelligent man, intelligent fellow, whatever he says. He calls him intelligent. He does act a lot nicer to them here, much like he did in Planet of Giants. I know Planet of Giants leads right into this one. So I'm really enjoying that. The Robo-Men interest me. Because they look almost like zombies. I don't know if they're being mind controlled. I mean, obviously something's going on. They're not in full control of their faculties, let us say. Obviously, the way they move, they have this zombie-like way they walk, emotionless and all, which is interesting because I can't remember what year Night of the Living Dead came out. I'm trying to remember if this came out before Night of the Living Dead or after, because I can't remember what year Night of the Living Dead actually came out in the 60s. But they have that very zombie-like way they move without emotion. So I'm curious if that predates Night of the Living Dead. That would be interesting. Which I really thought was neat. And obviously they're the bad guys. I'm guessing they're working with the Daleks, and the Daleks probably controlled them with these mind things that mentally control them like puppets, I'm guessing. I don't know. But I'm curious. And there's something eerie and creepy about that. Something that's human but not quite human. Where you can obviously tell something's wrong just by watching them walk. That's interesting. And then the iconic shot of the Dalek coming out of the water is fantastic. And I've seen that shot before, and it's iconic. That is beautifully iconic. And I think it works way better in black and white than it would in color. I'm one of those people, I don't need classic Doctor Who colored. I think it was shot in black and white. It's meant to be in black and white. It needs to be left in black and white. And that really works in black and white. It's a wonderful shot of it coming out. And seeing it in context with the story, it's a heck of a cliffhanger, especially if you didn't know going in the Daleks are going to be in it. That's one problem with some of the Dalek stories. There's several of them that have that, the end of episode 1 cliffhanger is the reveal of the Daleks, but it's in a story that has Daleks right in the title. Planet of the Daleks does the same thing right at the end, and you see John Pertwee, Daleks! What? There's Daleks in Planet of the Daleks? No! Pardon me while I pick myself up off the floor for the, because obviously I have fallen. I keeled over from surprise. Same thing here. There's a Dalek come out of the water. There's a You mean there's Daleks in the Dalek invasion of Earth? What the hell do you say? Since this one gets a little more slack because it had the individual episode titles at the time. Like this one has, World's End. So people might not have known going in that there were Daleks. Because that is a great cliffhanger if you don't know it's a story about Daleks. But if you know it's a story about Daleks, you're kind of waiting for them to show up. So I much would prefer a cliffhanger like that without having Daleks in the title. But it's still a heck of a cliffhanger. Even with all that said, it was a great cliffhanger. And I love Ian and the Doctor's response when they turn around and jump in the water, and there's the Dalek, and they're like, because that would kind of be my reaction. That's kind of a physical, oh crap. You can just see the oh crap look on their face. So I really like this one. I love the suspense. I love the empty city feel. It very much feels like a post-apocalyptic zombie movie. Basically, complete with the zombies, because the Robomen are pretty much zombies. So it pretty much has this zombie movie, zombie series vibe to it right here in episode 1, and I was not expecting that, but it fascinates me, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of the story. So I would like to know what you think of the Dalek Invasion of Earth, specifically episode 1, and what you think of my take on episode 1, not having the rest of the story to put it in context with yet. So I would like to know your opinions, so comment down below and let me know. Other things to do, click the like button, click the subscribe button. We have recently hit 700 subscribers. Very excited about that. Very grateful to everyone who has subscribed. Now I'm moving on to try to hit 800. That's my goal now. Always moving onward. I also have a Patreon if you would like to contribute to what I do. There's a link to that down in the description below as well, and that really does help out. I have different tiers. Everyone who joins at any tier gets a free video request. I want to give a shout out to Stephen Crane and the 5th Doctor, 2 of my top tier patrons. I appreciate their continued support and the support of all of my patrons. I also have a P.O. box, which is how I got this DVD. One of my subscribers, Adrian, did send me this. He sent it to my P.O. box. So if you would like to send me anything Doctor Who related or sci-fi related, or anything you just would like me to review, please send that down to the P.O. box, which is in the description below. A link to my Amazon wish list is down there as well. Most importantly though, thank you for watching.